All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Two men in black and white, an honest conversation. Hey, don't tell jokes in America because you know why? That'll get you locked up. That'll get you kicked off the air, or somebody will be singing that song to you. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. So, look, hey, it is happening right now. We are no longer allowed to disagree with the power structure in America. Isn't that what made America great at one point? I guess we're not trying to actually make America great again. We're trying to get absolute power. Joining me, my co host, Brock Ganeles, the Uptown Point Guard from outside of New York City in the lovely Hudson River Valley. Brock, what a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Always a pleasure, my friend. We are live on Facebook today, and we are checking in on the state of the state, and it ain't so good, bro. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel gone. All right. I think we thought it was a one off with Colbert, and we thought that would be the only media outlet that would fall. But now I even see some of these crazy Republicans trying to say, well, it was a business decision. Jimmy Kimmel's one of the biggest and best comedians on late night television right now. And you mean to tell me that all of a sudden Bob Iger decides to pull him off the air after they were threatened by the chair of the FCC, after Trump, put it in writing? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't believe in coinky dinks.
I mean, yeah, everything's a business decision. Okay, yeah, it's a business decision. The government was going to crack down and ruin their business if they didn't take Kimmel off the air. Okay, yeah, so taking him off the air was a business decision. Okay, it's coercion, right?
Right.
It's state sponsored, dictated
Extortion, right.
extortion. Okay, you can call it a business decision. Everything's a business decision, right? So that's just fucking wordsmithing again. That's just bullshit. It's professional bullshitting. Good.
Right.
Gets us nowhere.
And that's all Trump does. I mean, and that's all his lackeys do. I mean, they're good at nothing. They have expertise in nothing. I don't understand how these people got rich. None of them are smart. None of them are good at what they do. None of them even, how does Linda McMahon, how is she in charge of the education department? She doesn't have any idea what's going on. I'd love to know how much time she spends in the office.
Her job is to dismantle the department, so you don't need expertise to do that, right?
That's true.
That's the underlying problem. But to get back to the free speech thing, right? The head of the FCC, Brennan Carr, he was all over CNBC this morning explaining why this needed to be done. But Trump was also out running around saying that basically Fallon and Seth Meyers are next.
Next, yeah.
So we're going to get Fallon's already pretty sanitized, right? And he had the Fox guys on a couple of weeks ago. So he's just going to he's going to stick to his music game shows, and that's what he's going to do to stay on the air. Probably. He doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to make a stand. He's not a Colbert. I'll be surprised if he does. Right. But I feel like things have been eerily quiet today in terms of people standing up for free speech. I haven't heard many comedians coming out. I haven't heard many high-profile anybody's coming out and strongly either saying they're not going to be on Disney properties now, or they're not going to do anything for CBS, ABC, and the like. I haven't seen anyone make a stand or a statement to say they're going to do anything differently, but to say this is terrible and this is not how America should operate. So I know you say you think all these Trump acolyte minion guys are incompetent.
But they're getting it done.
But they're good at breaking shit down. They're good at enforcing a white supremacy movement, right? They're good at their racism, and they're good at dismantling institutions so that they can consolidate power.
And money.
So they figured out how to shake down the system on all fronts.
Right.
And it's very effective.
Now, Brock, you got to think about the media landscape, though, as well. These folks running these media companies, they don't get their bonuses if they don't hit their numbers. Everything is by the numbers in the media, right? Because that's the only thing that matters. People don't matter. It's the numbers that matter. I know people who lost their jobs because of the numbers. I know I've lost jobs because of the numbers. Right? It's all about the numbers. So what do? Fudge the numbers? What are they going to lie to advertisers about their ratings and about their numbers? I mean, I just don't understand how it works. How does this help
They don't
ABC late night programming?
don't think their ratings are going to go down because they don't think we are going to do anything about it. They think we're so lazy and we're going to keep tuning in and that they can fucking position things and manipulate things any way they want because they think they have us. They think we're fat and happy and rubbing our stomachs, laying on our couches, just watching their shit all day, every day. And so far they've been right. Has Bezos felt any real pain? Has Zuckerberg fuck the fact that we're live on fucking Facebook? I don't even have an account anymore because we couldn't figure out how to get it live on YouTube today, right? Zuckerberg, he doesn't give a shit that because one guy dismantled my account, right? He didn't have he didn't feel any pain. No one's felt any pain, so they're rolling right along.
No, I
So
know a bunch of people
they're worried more about the government than they are about the people. They're more afraid of Trump than they are about us because we don't do anything.
Right. And, again, this live could cause us to, be targeted. I mean, at
We
one
could be
point,
targeted. We could be vaporized tomorrow. What are we going to do if Zuckerberg and one of his fucking AI engines or, they don't even have people watching shit anymore. Just like what happened with TikTok, right? We have been banned on TikTok. Now, do you think we're going to be able to get back on when those fucking white supremacy tech fucking bros take over in a week? No, we had a better chance getting back on with China. Like, I don't know who has more free speech at this point.
Right.
No matter how you shake it, we're banned from TikTok because a couple of kids from Peekskill, white guy and a black guy, have some conversations that might be critical of the powers that be. Barely have any fucking viewers, right? But enough that TikTok or some algorithm figured out that we were maybe saying shit that somebody wouldn't like, or maybe while they were negotiating the deal, maybe a whole bunch of us got swept off of TikTok at the same time because they were afraid of Trump and when this deal was being negotiated. Who knows? We'll never know.
Right. And
We'll never
the
fucking
thing
know.
is, Brock, too, we weren't even on there that long. What were we on? Just a few months?
Yeah, like a month. Got up to 100 followers.
Right, 100 followers, and you target. Maybe they targeted us because they could, because we didn't have a huge following, and they didn't want to let us get one. I mean, I like to pat myself on the back and think that, but who knows? Like you said, we'll never know. But let's get back to Kimmel, right? What he said about Charlie Kirk and Trump or whoever, whatever he was talking about. If you listen to the comment, it wasn't even that bad. I mean, it wasn't even like I've seen a lot worse at Kankel's McTaco tits, right? There's been a lot worse. And Charlie Kirk is who he is. Let's stop whitewashing and sanitizing this fucking guy, right? He is who he is. He was a devout racist. He was a card-carrying Klansman. And that's the bottom line. You don't think so? How many people lost their jobs for mocking George Floyd? How many people lost their jobs for laughing about Skittles and Arizona fruit punch, right? Nobody lost their job for making fun of the death of Tamir Rice, right? They treated that young boy like a 30-year-old. He was 12 years old. Nobody lost their job for the tomfoolery and the jokes that followed afterward. So, the hypocrisy of the fucking right is mind-blowing.
Yeah, but they own the airwaves now. From Sinclair to Paramount to Iger to Disney, soon to be TikTok, to Facebook, to X, to the Washington Post, to Amazon Prime, to Hulu. They're squeezing down the outlets, and they're going to make it harder for contrary voices to break through. I don't know what programming is going to replace Colbert and Kimmel, right? A lot of people watch those shows. I don't care if people said they're dying. Less people watch everything now because our eyeballs are more scattered. But they still had concentrated audiences.
Right. Take a look at their YouTube pages.
Let me ask you this. How is there possibly going to be a new season of Saturday Night Live?
There won't be. Bad Bunny is one of the hosts? Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny just did what, $200 million injected into the Puerto Rican economy with his residency. You think he's not going to have something polarizing to say about the state of the immigration crisis here in America?
But they've been mocking presidents for 25 years, right?
I know.
Like, I already know Phil Hartman to Chevy Chase to, like, you can name the names, to Dana
Right.
Carvey, right? Of all the
Right.
people
That's their thing. They're
that's their
known
thing.
for it.
That's
Yeah.
their thing. They make fun of politicians. I mean, how is that possibly going to be allowed? What did Kimmel just do? He mocked
Right.
Trump. Really, he showed what a psychopathic fucking, really what a psychopath Trump is what Kimmel
Right.
did, right? Because he showed how he had no empathy and couldn't even connect to making a comment about the Charlie Kirk's death. How he
Right.
segued to talk about the ballroom immediately when
ballroom.
asked about the death. Like, he couldn't have a human emotion. He literally wanted to talk about the construction of the ballroom. He couldn't even utter the sentence that this is a tragedy and I feel for his family. Like, he couldn't even do the human thing that you normally would even do on people that you hate. And he was supposedly the question was being positioned about, oh, you were so close with Charlie Kirk. How are you
Right.
feeling about this? He immediately segued to talk about a ballroom.
Right. Like gave like 5 words about Charlie Kirk and went straight to the fucking ballroom. But let me ask you this, Brock. Is this the sentiment of most white guys, like white men? Like 60, 70, 80-year-old white men? 50-year-old white men? Is this how white men feel? Like, fuck them. You know, the guy shouldn't have made jokes about the president. I mean, I
don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, on the right, they would say they just don't want jokes about this president. They didn't mind jokes about Obama, right? They didn't mind Joe Biden jokes. They thought they were probably laughing their asses off when they made fun about Joe Biden's like dementia and shit, right? That was funny. It's only this president. So I'm going to say that's a no in terms of feeling, oh, you shouldn't be able to criticize the president.
right.
It's the hypocrisy it goes back to. It's the fact that it's just the power play. It's just like we don't want to be criticized.
Right. Right. And it really is ridiculous. And again, more hypocritical than they've ever been. Now that they're in power. But again, you listen to the comments from Brennan Carr. The fuck's this guy so mad about? Right? Like all these lunatics are so pissed. Stephen Miller's furious. I understand his wife left him, for Elon Musk.
He's been this. You can watch clips of Stephen Miller from when he was 15 years old.
And he was still this way.
Yeah. But they're mad about the fact that they live in a multicultural, multiracial society. They don't want to live in that society. They're mad that's what America is. That's, if you want to say, like, I think it's performative anger, but if you want to get to the underlying problem in their view, is that America's too multicultural. So it's anti-immigrant, too black, too brown, too light brown, too light brown, too other, too many gay people running around.
Too many people turning gay.
Too many, so it's all of those things. So that's the anger. They want to be running shit. Everything bothers them then, right? The loud music of those black kids, the disrespect, and that's where you just get all the euphemisms, right?
Right.
Lazy black people and fucking quote illegals that are coming in here and taking jobs and like fucking up the neighborhood because they don't want to have them around or see them. And I mean that's what it is. That's what white supremacy is. I mean, what was Hitler angry about?
Yeah.
Was he really angry or was he a performer? We don't know. We don't know what's fake and what's real. We don't know what's in anyone's heart, right? All we know can view them on is their actions. But he wanted to cleanse Germany, right? In Germany, it was gypsies. It's always gay people, right? And there they targeted and started with the Jews. Okay, so here in America, we've already just fucking pummeled the black people for 200 years. So in essence, we started this time we started with the Latinos.
Right.
As you recall, in Trump 1.0, they started with Arabs.
Arabs, yeah.
Arabs and Muslims.
The
Muslim ban started. But it wasn't, it got shot down. We had a different legal environment back then. They hadn't quite turned the whole court where they could get away with it. It kind of got shot down. And there aren't that many Muslim Americans anyway. It wasn't that It wasn't targeting enough people for it to be a movement. This time, going after Latinos, you're going after a big chunk of the country, and you're locking up, putting
Oh, they're the
away,
largest
deporting
minority.
a huge group of people.
Yeah, they're the largest minority. Second to white Americans. They surpass black folks, right? In terms of numbers. But now we got no jobs getting done when it comes to farmland. We got these farmers out here crying. And what are you crying for? What are you crying? This is what you voted for. This is what you wanted. Now you got it. Okay, so just because your boy Cankles McTaco Tits told you that immigrants were taking black jobs, do you think black people are going to come out here and farm this land? Do you think we're going to come back out here and do some of these jobs that President Cankles McTaco Tits told you were black jobs? Okay, these folks had started companies, started businesses. They were making money. They were making a living. They were providing, and I don't care how much money they were sending back home. They were law-abiding citizens. And they were providing a service that we desperately needed because, oh, by the way, Brock, nothing's cheaper today. I believe your boy said on day one he was going to make everything cheaper. Didn't he? Orange Mussolini? Nothing's cheaper. Everything's more expensive. Ground beef. Ground beef. The price of ground beef makes me want to be a fucking vegan. It is insane. It is insane. And that's the thing. He keeps none of his promises, right? And all his wives will tell you that. His kids will probably tell you that. And yet, they all run behind him. They can't wait to run behind him and do what he says next. The fucking guy that organized an attack on our Capitol and tried to overthrow our government gets another fucking go-round to screw America. I'm telling you, Brock, it's like he gets a fucking list, and it's got to be from Putin to say, fuck this up next, do this, do this, do this. And he's been doing it. I mean, how are we supposed to take 4 years of this shit?
Just absolutely, there's no way we can take 4 years of this. The country will be so gone in 3.25 more years. But I'll say, Mark, the list of, just as you were talking, I was just thinking, like, the list of disappointments is so long. Like, where are successful Latinos right now? Where are their fucking voices?
Right.
Really quiet.
Where are they?
Really quiet, right? Like watching this go on. Like, not only did they not vote in a way that, like, arguably, quote, I would argue they should have, but hey, it's their vote, not mine. Just incredibly quiet. No solidarity, very little action. One wave of protests in LA. And that's kind of all. No great leadership, no major voice coming out speaking for oppressed Latinos.
Yeah.
And those that are getting absolutely unfairly roped in and treated like shit. Even if you're going to make the argument that some people should be deported, the conditions they're being put in through the process is abhorrent.
Right.
Where's the voices?
But take a look at every other ethnicity and every other group. Nobody else is making any waves either.
No, I mean, believe me, I'm disappointed in the Jewish community. Still, wanting to be like MAGA adjacent and worrying about Mondani in fucking New York City and missing the big picture that Netanyahu, like the UN, is considering now Israel like fucking a rogue state committing genocide and Netanyahu's a war criminal. And that's who we're lined up behind. That's what we're all about. We need to protect that.
Right. Again, here goes another day. We're not talking about the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Release the fucking files. The most prolific sex predator and sex trafficker of young girls in American history, right? And we've got a president, right, whose ankles are so full of fluid that he can't stand up for more than 15 minutes at a time, and he's covering up for this guy. And now we're working deals for his right-hand woman. The right-hand woman that actually participated in some of the essays, actually participated in the recruitment of these women, right? And then how about Charlie Kirk, gets shot exactly 1 week after those young ladies declare, those victims of the Epstein trafficking declare that they're writing their own list. They're putting their own list together. I don't know. Seems like an awful big coinky-dink to me, but who am I? We're just a couple of dudes from Peekskill with raggedy ass opinions.
I'm waiting for them to release that list, right? Shouldn't take them that long to compile it. Somebody's got it right now. Is there a lawyer with enough guts to go out and make an announcement? Is there anyone in America with enough guts to kind of do anything? It just doesn't appear to be. However, there's pockets of it, right? 10 or 11 state and city lawmakers got arrested today in New York City, going into an ICE facility to demand that they get to see the conditions and the prisoners. And of course, they weren't allowed to. Instead, they got zip-tied, cuffed, and carted out of there. So I'm disappointed in New York City. Hey, New York City, you're letting this go on in your city? So your elected officials are getting thrown in jail by those ICE fuckers with the masks on who are throwing Latinos in fucking abhorrent conditions right under your nose? And you actually have elected officials that are trying to do something about it, but you as the people are what? Just going along your day, checking the scores, seeing who should be quarterbacking this week for the Giants? Should it be Wilson or the rookie? Or whether the Yankees are going to make the playoff run? That's what you're concerned about.
Right. But, so many people are just, turning the other cheek and going along with their lives, trying to figure out where they're going to watch the game tonight. Why are we watching the fucking NFL? Why are we watching the fucking NFL?
How many people are tuning in to ABC tonight? They rant and rave all day and say, this Jimmy Kimmel thing, this is terrible. This is unbelievable. It's not how America should go. Boom, boom, boom. But yet they're sitting on their couch with a fucking TV dinner and they're flipping on ABC and watching those fucking Matlock bullshitty shows scrolling by, right? Not even doing the simplest thing they could do, which is maybe sacrifice at the smallest level one little element of their life to make one little statement so that corporations can feel some pain to realize that their decisions are not in step with the populace. But if no one does anything about it, it's never going to change.
Now, see, Black America's going to sit here and tell you, whoa, we did our part. Look at Target. All right? But that ain't enough. That's one company.
One game. You won one game. You won one game. Congratulations. You're 1-0.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
Because there needs to be more defiance in the face of corporate cowardice, right? We can't keep letting them get away. How many people just, renewed their Prime, didn't even check it, didn't even consider, not signing up again for Amazon Prime, there's no other alternative. I get it. What is there? Walmart has some, delivery service or something.
They're kind of no better. And I get it, but there's always...
What do, right? It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. We know both devils in this case. But, again, we're so locked in on convenience, our SUVs, our soccer Saturdays.
But shop local, live different. It actually feels great. I told you I have no TV right now, right? We've got rid of cable. And now with ABC, CBS, I don't even know what stations I want to buy back. I'm not even that eager to get it again. So maybe I'm watching less fucking shows. You know what? I don't know. I'm getting the same amount of screen time. I'm just doing watching different shit. Maybe more YouTube stuff, listening to more music, more Netflix, because I think I'm aligned with the politics of Netflix. But I'm just saying, how fucking happy I am that I can actually say now that I do not contribute to a Fox property. I'm just so happy, right? I accomplished that. It makes me happy. That gives me more joy than what I'm losing. Believe me, I just feel better about myself as a human being. Simplest thing in the world, right? But you just have to be that way all the time. Are you still going to Chick-fil-A? Are you still going to Chick-fil-A? You're really still going to support, the chicken sandwich is that good. It'll feel great to drive right by. Find another place and get something somewhere else. You'll feel better about yourself. It actually feels good to have these little micro
microaggressive
micro
win.
microaggressive protests. They're living room protests. Like you actually
Right,
don't have to do anything.
right,
Of
right.
course, we're gonna have to go out on the street and have macro protests that are like aggressive and get really ugly, and there's gonna be fucking tear gas and all that shit that goes on. But on the day to day, you can just do the micro stuff.
Why are more people protesting Donald Trump in the UK than are protesting? Did you see the drone footage from the protests in the UK? Donald Trump
And the
is
big thing they had up
fine.
on the castle and
Yes.
the huge photo, like they mocked them the entire time.
Yep. And nobody here is going to be able to do anything about it over there, and they don't care. And I don't know. We're just so self-absorbed and so selfish. I mean, just imagine. I don't know where we'd be if black folks had taken this kind of complacency and this complacent attitude back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. What if Rosa Parks, had just gotten up, right? You
Yeah, what
know,
if she said, "Hey, I don't want to lose my job," or "Hey,
yeah,
I don't want to get inconvenienced today. I got to get home and watch Abbott Elementary.
exactly.
I don't want to get caught on the bus and like get in trouble, like or the guys who ate at
At the
the lunch
lunch counter.
counter and
Yeah,
and God forbid the people got hit over the head with like clubs on the
that is
Pettus
great.
Bridge. Like if you're always so worried that you can't do anything because someone wrote this on one of our message boards about if you get out there and you get fired, it's like okay, well that's how oppression happens. If every individual is worried that if they act, they're going to have negative ramifications,
Right,
then all these individuals do nothing. But if everyone does it together, can't fire. You're not gonna fire everybody.
everybody.
You can't fire your
Right,
entire economy.
right. And Brock, that's how censorship happens, right? Because people are self-censoring now, right? Like you said earlier in the broadcast. What's Jimmy Fallon going to do tonight? He's going to play his little hip hop game and, do his little song and dance and, invite whatever guests they tell him to invite and keep it on whatever political spectrum they want him on. And he's going to toe the line. And there we have the end of our democracy. Because these authoritarians, they always start with the comedians. That's where they start their censorship. And then it'll work its way down to the rest of us.
Yeah, because mockery and humor pokes away at authoritarianism,
Right.
which is why you can't have Winnie the Pooh in China because Xi, because it makes fun of Xi because he looks like Winnie the Pooh. So they had this is Winnie the Pooh's banned in China. That's where we're going. I definitively would expect that we're more likely to get some pushback from Seth Meyers than from Jimmy Fallon.
Oh,
But that's just my guess if I had to bet. But I want it from everyone. Where are the black comedians? Where, I'm waiting to hear what Chris Rock has to say. Like who's that case and not? You tell me. Who Cat Williams, you tell me who can say something that will resonate through the community. You
Right.
know? I mean, I don't know. A lot of those guys don't get a regular paycheck from any one network anyway, right? Like
Right.
they do specials.
Right.
I mean, is everyone
But
so
they don't
fucking
want to lose those opportunities to do
is
the
everyone so
special.
fucking afraid? Really, they don't want to lose those opportunities because it's more important to. They just
Important
want
to
to
have
die
the
with the
good
most money. It's just that's more important to them. They just wake up in the morning and say, okay, we're gonna make.
Grin Barrett.
Yeah, I'm going to make a deal with the devil today. I'm going to roll along with this white supremacy regime that I'm a part of. But you know what? I'm still getting a good paycheck on the side. And so what that, the guy down the street just got carted away in a fucking van and we'll never see him again. Wasn't me. So what? The guy next door just got censored or fired from their job. Wasn't me. We're the wasn't me. We're the wasn't me society.
Right. But how much money are you going to need to really get by? I mean, with everything getting so expensive, I mean, we already talked about yesterday the housing affordability index is just through the roof. I mean, who's going on vacation next summer? Where the fuck do you work that you're saving money for vacation next summer? Jeez. Yeah, pass out some applications.
What's the holiday season look like?
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean,
holiday
are
season.
people buying shit? We
What's
can't
the
get that
first?
cheap Chinese shit anymore, right? With the
Nope,
tariffs. So,
nope.
like,
And what's the 1st of
I don't
January
know.
look like when that big, beautiful bill kicks in and everybody's healthcare premiums shoot up 50, 75%?
I don't know. Are the older people who, made money when America was a decent country, like they, going to just have to transfer the wealth down to their kids and younger generation because they're all just scraping by or out of work or living at home or about to lose their health insurance?
Exactly. It's a problem.
It's a fucking huge problem.
It's a fucking
And
problem.
which leads me to the next thing. Young people in America, just
Where they at?
where they don't
They
care
don't
about
care.
Kimmel or Colbert. Who is watching these guys? Like, who cares? Like, who's the
Right.
audience that would care? Like, is it still a 45 to 7-year-old audience watching late night? So is just the people that, or maybe the young people are a step ahead of us because they're just watching everyone online, so their people aren't getting censored yet. Wait till the white supremacists take over TikTok. We'll
Right.
see if all these fucking influencers keep their seat. We lost ours, right? So they're
Right.
all gonna have to, so young people are all gonna have to toe the line, or all these people making money online are now gonna have to watch what they say that much more because now you're gonna have a whole bunch of different algorithms coming on. Chinese didn't care. Chinese didn't care if you go on TikTok and criticize Trump. What did they give a shit? Right?
Right.
They're just printing
Right.
money. And now you got a couple tech bros out there who want, the regime to stay in place.
Yep. Yeah, they can fix that algorithm very quickly. All
And
right, bro, you got a quick hit for me before we get out of here?
yeah, there's another documentary that I found really interesting.
Nice.
Pee Wee
Okay.
Herman. Did I mention this already? That I watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
No, but I have seen that on Netflix.
Oh, you watch it, or you
No,
just saw that
I
it's
saw a
on there?
preview. Yeah, I
You
saw
know,
that
it
it's
was a
on there.
reminder of how huge Pee Wee Herman was. But
Yeah.
then it's a sad reminder about how homophobic America is. And he ultimately, right? Because at first he got arrested for like public fornication or whatever
Yeah.
indecency. Then he secondly, in some like appears to be retribution thing, his home got raided and he got like accused of like pedophilia because he had a bunch of like really a collection of like homoerotic art in his house. And a couple of the pictures were maybe looked to be like they could have been under 18. I mean, he got totally railroaded in terms of his career, but also got painted as a pedophile and kind of had to live with that. But what an amazing performer, if you just think about what he did,
Right.
and he lived a double life because he created this alter ego.
Right.
And all anyone knew was Pee Wee Herman, but like there was a real guy, Paul
Right.
Rubens, who became Pee Wee Herman
Right.
and lived that life. So it's an interesting story, but it is sad. And once again, it just shows, just to circle back to MAGA, how, right, he was a great entertainer and became famous, but he didn't fit mainstream America, right? He had to hide that he was gay. I mean, you probably could have guessed, but like he didn't. He wasn't.
Vilified for it
He
in the
wasn't
end.
public. He wasn't publicly out.
Right.
You couldn't in that era.
No.
I'm not sure you can in this era now, with
No.
the crackdowns coming.
Right. Who
So
knows?
I thought it was interesting. It's a good watch. Very, and
All right.
for guys our age, you go back those early MTV days and the stuff, and like how big his movies and that TV show was.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
crazy.
quick hit. I'm recommending it though. It's a good watch. 2 hours.
All right. Sounds good, bro.
What
All
do you
right,
got
man,
for me?
let's,
What do you got me from the black? What do you have to share with me from the black community? I watched the first 20 minutes of the hip hop documentary in Atlanta. I got to finish that one. I got 20 minutes of it in.
which one? Magic
Yesterday.
City or Little Baby?
Little baby.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And he was like 14, 15-year-old, already
Yeah.
dropped out of school. He was like running the streets really young.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the part I got to. Like I haven't gotten to him getting older yet.
it's really interesting stuff that he was able to get himself together to become as big as he is. He was very influential too in the George Floyd protests here in Atlanta. So I don't know if you've seen his video Bigger Than Black and White. I post some of his lyrics from time to time on Facebook and other social medias. But like I said, if you listen to the music, you'll know exactly what's going on in the black community.
Okay, I'm going into this one telling you I had never heard of him.
Right? Yeah, I remember this.
I'd never even heard of him.
Huge.
Not even to mention that I can't even come close to knowing a song or a lyric. I literally never heard of him. So this is like a total introduction.
Yeah, the video is called The Bigger Picture. The subtitle is, Bigger Than Black and White. And it's all about the George Floyd protests here in Atlanta. There is another, how would we call it? I guess it's a staple of Atlanta. One of the things that put Atlanta on the map called Magic City. And I would love to hear from my sisters on this one because it's all about the world famous strip club, Magic City, and how it got its beginnings right through present day. Talks to a lot of the dancers. It talks to the original owner. They talk about the crimes that had taken place in there. They talk about its influence in the hip hop community. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes, but it's on Amazon now and it's been trending. So that might be another interesting side. I mean, you and I got a glimpse into the Atlanta nightlife once, but it'll give you, because there are so many celebrities in it, from Shaq to T.I. to some of the dancers who have become legendary to the owner, Mr. Magic. So it's a really interesting take on what really brought the South in hip hop to prominence through the early 90s, late 80s, and up till now. So that's an interesting, and it's on Amazon as well.
I hate going on Amazon.
I know.
If I got it to get some, cultural, like eye-opening experiences, I'll make the trade-off, right? But I got to finish. I'm going to finish the Baby tonight. That is my goal, is to watch
Lil Baby. The Baby's
Lil Baby.
Lil Baby is a totally different guy from a totally different city. You got to delineate, man.
Come on, Lil Wayne. Okay, I got to delineate. I got it. I'm absorbing that. But my first thought was, can we get some diversification in the names?
In the name?
They're creating these names as stage names. Why would you keep creating a name that's so close to someone else's name? Like, wouldn't you want like something that's so outside the norm so that it's so recognizable versus like the Baby, Lil Baby?
Do you know how many rappers there are right now? You and I could be rappers by tonight with our cell phones. Okay? There are that many rappers. I can't even keep up with these guys. So, the bigger ones, I guess I know, maybe, but I'm old school anyway. So I listen to Rock the Bells radio when I'm in the car. And that's all the old school stuff from when we were in high school. So I can relate to that. This stuff that's going on today, I just kind of peek over my son's shoulder to see what he's listening to. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
Right. Well, we're still waiting for a couple of them because I was glad to hear this guy did some George Floyd stuff, so I'm going to listen to that because we need some people to start writing some political rap. You can't just keep talking about how much money you're making and the party you went to last night. I mean, that shit can't continue to float as we sink into authoritarianism. Because you know why? That party's going to get fucking shut down. That's the thing. Your party's going to get shut down. ICE is coming to shut down your party. Yeah. So, you're going to have to think a little bigger picture because.
Yeah. And your concerts. I mean, that's why Bad Bunny didn't want to perform in the U.S. Right? He didn't want to have huge, amounts of Latinos coming out to his concerts with ICE standing by trying to figure out, oh, are you a Puerto Rican citizen? You're going to be detained. You're not American. Because that was going to happen, right? These yahoos don't know who's American and who ain't. They don't know where American territories are and where they ain't.
I mean, it's something every Latino artist is going to have to think about. It's already what's being talked about relative to the World Cup. I mean, what happens when who do you think is coming here, right?
Right.
Mexico and Argentina and Brazil and Spain and, the world is coming here. I don't know how they're going to feel comfortable coming here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they boycotted it and said, you know what, we're going to play somewhere else.
That'd be incredible. What a slap in the face it would be for America.
I would love that. And you're supposed to come to Atlanta. That would be another huge economic hit for Atlanta following the Hyundai plant. That would be big. All right, Brody, we're out of time.
Okay, always a pleasure, Mark.
Pleasure,
Talk to you
my friend.
tomorrow. Okay.
Peace.